Ollie, a long, long time ago, you used to have to look for holes in the fence here to get free entry. So what's it going to be like for kids swarming Adelaide Oval with free tickets?
Yeah, very exciting. Kids go free Sunday to the Gold Coast game, so it's a great initiative. I think we all reflect back to when we were a child, and myself, I love footy that much and didn't have too many opportunities to get down to Melbourne to watch, but for all the kids that do, it's a great initiative, and hopefully we can fill the ground and really build some momentum in what's a really important game for us.
Since there's a real move now from the AFL to get fans back to the game.
Yeah, certainly it's something that you see is missing at the moment, and for whatever reason, I think there's been some soul searching by the AFL, a lot of fan surveys and whatnot to get to the bottom of it. So it is the cornerstone of our game, the fans and having fan engagement. So it is a problem at the moment, and I think the AFL are doing everything they can to explore the options and get fans back.
Good chance also to win some hearts.
Yeah, certainly. That's when you sort of generally win your biggest fans young in their career. I was a die-hard Carlton supporter before I came over to the Power, so it is when you're young you fall in love with your team, and hopefully we can turn some fans on the weekend.
Do you think you're getting the older fans to love you a bit more again after the wins recently?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously the year hasn't gone to plan as we would have liked it, but I think we're still in the hunt and we're still doing some good things, and there's plenty of opportunities ahead of us for the rest of the season to win a final spot and continue our really good couple of years of win-loss record.
You've enjoyed a ruck puzzle all year. What's the next phase of it?
Yeah, no, it's the gift that keeps giving. We find someone that, and full credit to Bryn coming over from West Australia 2 weeks in, and he debuts and breaks the collarbone, but I think his upside is enormous. He's going to be a really good player for us for many years to come. Whatever happens this weekend, not too sure. I think that's a really puzzling question for Ken and the team to sort of look to what they do. I think after quarter time when Bryn did go down, I think Jez's game was tremendous, and he's really embraced that secondary ruck role and had to play the primary ruck role, and I think if it turns out he's our primary ruck, I think we'd be more than happy with that.
What's it like when he actually follows up his ruck with it?
Yeah, no, that's our biggest trigger to him. He's almost like another midfielder in there, and it almost might be a bit of a time in football where that more mobile fourth mid type of ruckman is coming in. We do see a lot of really big ruckmen in the league still and really doing good things, but I think the times might be changing a little bit where a ruckman who can follow up their work and be that extra number on the ground level is really important.
You were hitting the scoreboard last year. Is there a reason why the midfielders aren't scoring as much this year?
Oh, it's probably a bit of a trend in our team. In general, our scoreboard impact hasn't been there, and I think our defence has been really strong, and I don't know what we're ranked in so far this season, probably top 2 or 3 in defence, but I think just generally across the board our offence has been down for whatever reason. So it is something that we do look to do, hit the scoreboard, particularly as a midfield, to take the loads off the forwards, but I think there's still plenty of improvement there.
How does it alter the way that you play Ollie as like a clearance midfielder when you don't have a ruckman that has 50 hit-outs a game? What the sort of tangible differences for you guys?
Yeah, a little bit more, I guess, playing the percentages and not expecting the ball's going to be put into your position. I think it's something that I look back on my career and we've always had good ruckmen, but I think it's never been our sort of one-wood winning hit-outs or getting hit-outs to advantage. I think back to the days of sort of Jackson Trengrove, through those times where we had a lot of ruckman injuries, that we've always sort of relied on battling your midfielder and just trying to purely beat them to the ball. So it's not so much of a challenge for us. I think we've always sort of thrived in that environment, and I think the rest of the season and until probably Scott's back, it'll be no different.
How's Sam feeling? I mean, obviously you can't speak directly on his mind frame, but a bit tough on him being the only fit ruckman and not getting a game?
Yeah, certainly. I think he got his opportunity. He was able to show some really good positives, but I think Sam knows that he's got a lot of improvement to make, and it's really good for him to get that experience at AFL level. And I think even seeing the development he made throughout those 4 or 5 weeks where he was in the AFL was enormous, and he's been able to take that back to the sample now and set some goals for himself and work on those things. I don't think until you get to the AFL you really see some of your things you got to work on, and that's been a really good eye opener for him.
What are some of those things he needs to work on, do you think?
I think just a follow-up. I think Sam's really good in the air, and what he's able to do with hit-outs and contested marking and aerially around the ground. I think his biggest challenge is, because he is so big, is having an impact at ground level, and it's something that I know Matt Lobe, back at the club now as a ruck coach, is doing an enormous amount of work with him, and the most important thing, he's so open to that and wants to learn. So he's got those things to do now, and he's been working really hard on.
What about the strides you've seen in Dante? What have you seen from him this year that you like?
Yeah, Dante's jumped on the scene, and I don't think you see an 18-year-old ruckman make that sort of development so early. Generally, they're sort of a 4 or 5 year project, but what he's been able to do in the SANFL against grown men, even the development in his body to be able to compete and hold his own physically is enormous. And he's another one of those ruckmen that we see a lot of potential in. So whether he gets his opportunity over the next couple of weeks or not, he's going to be a really good player.
What makes Wits so dangerous? What sort of difficulties do you run into with him as a ruckman? He's an enormous man.
Yeah, no, he is. Firstly, I think what he does for them in the ruck and providing them first access to the ball. So it probably keeps us midfielders on our toes a little bit more, and perhaps not expecting us to win as many hits and sort of negating their impact. But also that he's a real figurehead around the ground, so going forward or kicking long down the line, he's always there, and he's always either marking it or creating a contest. So he's someone that we're going to have to put a lot of work into.
Because of his sheer size, do you think that would make the team more likely to bring in a ruckman to Batman rather than have Jeremy go against someone that's such a big guy?
Yeah, certainly. I think those things come up in selection talks. I think there's so many different ruckmen these days that perhaps a forward who's second ruck usually can go against, but some of those guys are just so big that if one guy's not getting it done, you probably got to go two at it. So it'll be interesting discussions and see what happens.
Speaking of that game,
no, I was at the Magpies, so I saw the first half of it, I think, and yeah, look, they're in really good form. They're hunting finals at the moment, so yeah, it's going to be on Sunday.
I was going to say, speaking of ruckman, have you heard from Pete after the weekend?
Yeah, I was talking to him a little bit after the game. It wasn't a real hard hit. It was a bit of a love tap, so I don't think there was anything. I don't even know if he got anything in the end. Did he get?
He got a week.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's a bit stiff. Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a brain lapse by Pete, and if he had his opportunity again, he wouldn't do it. But yeah, it was good to get the final result in the end.
Was there anything in the lead up then?
Yeah, there was just a little bit of. We were probably ignoring him a little bit when you sort of know how pissed he works, and we weren't talking to him too much, and I think it was frustrating him a little bit. But look, that's how he plays. He plays on the edge, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, as I said, we got the last laugh in the end.
Just don't.
Sort of you don't really get a chance to, you don't really see a whole heap of it. You know, I don't know what you guys say out there on the field, but you like that sort of, it's almost like amateur footy type stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to get away with a bit more. I think it's all adjudicated, and the tribunal and everything probably goes a little bit over the top. But yeah, I think there's still room for footy for a bit of rough and tough and a bit of bravado stuff. But obviously, you know when to cross the line. I'd like to think most people know when the line's crossed. So I still think there's room for that.
Just on your own form, mate. Obviously, Brownlow last year. How would you sort of compare to how you've been going?
Yeah, I've been a bit frustrated, to be honest. I've sort of been searching a bit throughout the season. It is hard when you do set a standard like that last year, and I don't sort of worry about externally, but internally, and what I'm able to do for the team, and being able to play my role to the highest ability to give us every chance of winning. So I think I've been a little bit down. I really like back halves of the year. I think sort of the speed comes out of the game, and I am able to thrive a little bit more. So I'm really excited for the remaining games and what possibly is to come in September. But I think I'm sort of got some things right, and I'll be looking to maintain that form for the rest of the year.
Do you carry the weight a bit of Charlie, when you've come into the season as the game's best player from the year before? Do you personally, not externally, but do you carry that weight?
Yeah, probably a little bit. I think there's so prestigious that you want to uphold that standard for the rest of your career, and sometimes that's not possible. But I think you can aspire to reach that level with whatever you do. So preparation and training throughout the week to give me every opportunity. So I'll keep working at it and hopefully able to continue that form.
How's the ticker?
Just last one.
Yeah, no, the heart's all good. Yeah, back to normal. So hopefully it's one thing that never happens again, and it was just a bit of an outlier.